Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. We're about ready to begin the Girls and Women's Plenary, but before we do, as always, we have some commitments to announce. I'm particularly grateful for this one for reasons I think that will be obvious. It will be announced by the United States Secretary of State, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Please welcome her to the stage.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, and it is, as always, such a personal pleasure for me to join this remarkable gathering, and I look out at this audience and there are just too many people here who deserve recognition to name all of you. So let me just express my deep appreciation to all the representatives of foreign governments, as well as the leaders and advocates who are here with us and who will be sharing the stage. And of course, I do want to thank someone very special, namely my husband, for organizing this event. And instilling it with his very special spirit of activism, innovation, and commitment that is contagious. Last year at CGI, I spoke about the Obama administration's new strategy for international development, which has elevated development alongside diplomacy and defense as the core pillars of American foreign policy. And we are working with our partner countries to help them obtain the tools and capacity that they need to solve their own problems and contribute to solving the world's shared problems. Our goal is to help people lift themselves, their families, and their societies out of poverty and toward a better life. And this is not development for development's sake. This work, we believe, advances our own security, prosperity, and values. So we have focused on strategic areas where we can make the biggest impact, on agricultural change that stretch from the farm to the market to the table and keep people nourished and productive. Health systems that help people spend their days working rather than sick or dying. Opportunities for women and girls that allow them to contribute to economic and social progress. And today, I am very excited to tell you about a new initiative that will advance these and other efforts and help put vital new tools in the hands of millions of people. As we meet here in New York, women are cooking dinner for their families in homes and villages around the world. As many as 3 billion people are gathering around open fires or old and inefficient stoves in small kitchens and poorly ventilated houses. Many of the women have labored over these hearths for hours, often with their infant babies strapped to their backs, and they have spent many more hours gathering the fuel. The food they prepare is different on every continent, but the air they breathe is shockingly similar, a toxic mix of chemicals released by burning wood or other solid fuel that can reach 200 times the amount that our EPA considers safe for breathing. As the women cook, smoke fills their lungs and the toxins begin poisoning them and their children. The results of daily exposure can be devastating. Pneumonia, the #1 killer of children worldwide, chronic respiratory diseases, lung cancer, and a range of other health problems are the consequence. The World Health Organization considers smoke from dirty stoves to be one of the 5 most serious health risks that face people in poor developing countries. Nearly 2 million people die from its effects each year, more than twice the number from malaria. And because the smoke contains greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and methane, as well as black carbon, it contributes to climate change. There are other consequences as well. In conflict zones like the Congo, the journeys that women must take to find scarce fuel put them at increased risk of violent and sexual assault. Even in safer areas, every hour spent collecting fuel is an hour not spent in school or tending crops or running a business. People have cooked over open fires and dirty stoves for all of human history. But the simple fact is they are slowly killing millions of people and polluting the environment. Engineers and development professionals have worked on this problem for decades. My own involvement stretches back many years, and I'm well aware that well-meaning efforts have been launched, but none have managed to match the scope of the challenge. But today, because of technological breakthroughs, new carbon financing tools, and growing private sector engagement, we can finally envision a future in which open fires and dirty stoves are replaced by clean, efficient, and affordable stoves and fuels all over the world, stoves that still cost as little as $25. I know that maybe this sounds hard to believe, but by upgrading these stoves, millions of lives could be saved and improved. This could be as transformative as bed nets or even vaccines. So today, I am very pleased to announce the creation of the Global Alliance for Clean Cookstoves. This is a public-private partnership led by the United Nations Foundation that will work toward the goal of 100 million homes adopting new clean stoves and fuels by 2020. Our long-term goal is universal adoption all over the world. And the Alliance is a perfect CGI model of a public-private partnership that already includes governments such as the United States, Germany, Norway, and Peru, international development organizations and local NGOs, as well as foundations and private companies such as Morgan Stanley and Shell. And we do expect to grow quickly with your help. And this effort will proceed on a number of parallel tracks. First, a major applied research and development effort to improve design, lower costs, and develop global industry standards for cookstoves. There are already some good stoves out there, but we can make them much more durable, efficient, and affordable, and scale up production to reach a mass market. With the right advances, new stoves could even use their own wasted heat to produce electricity that powers smoke-clearing fans, mobile phones, and even household lights. Second, a broad-based campaign to create a commercial market for clean stoves, including reducing trade barriers, promoting consumer awareness, and boosting access to large-scale carbon financing. Now, no single stove will meet the needs of every community across the world. In fact, previous efforts have taught us that if local tastes and preferences are not considered, people will simply not use the stoves and will find them stacked in piles of refuse. That's why a market-based approach that relies on testing, monitoring, and research is so important. Because if we do this right, these new stoves will fit seamlessly into family cooking traditions while also offering a step up toward a better life. Third, we will integrate clean stoves into our international development projects so that refugee camps, disaster relief efforts, and long-term aid programs all will act as distribution networks. Women and girls, who are obviously the vast majority of stove users, will be our focus throughout. Women-owned, microfinanced businesses and networks can extend deep into hard-to-reach communities. And that I know a number of my friends from SEWA, the Self-Employed Women's Association that started in India, has already made a huge difference for millions of women in India. And they're with us today. You'll meet them in a minute. And they're helping us to make this happen more broadly. The United States is committing more than $50 million over the next 5 years to this initiative, and we urge other countries to join us. Our partners have already contributed an additional $10 million, and we're working to raise more every day, with the goal of reaching at least $250 million over 10 years. This is a project that brings across our government the experts together, and many of them have long experience in working on clean stoves, but never before have we pooled our resources and our expertise behind a single global campaign as we are doing today. And never before have we had the range of global partners and coordination that the Alliance for Clean Cookstoves brings with it. So we need your help as well. You're here because you are already committed to identifying and investing in innovative solutions to persistent global problems. So today I ask you to join us, to be a part of this solution, an issue that brings together so many of our concerns, whether you're passionate about health or the environment or sustainable development or women's empowerment. This is a project for you, and we need you. The next time you sit down with your own family to eat, please take a moment to imagine the smell of smoke, feel it in your lungs, see the soot building up on the walls, and then come find us at the Global Alliance for Clean Cookstoves. Hearths, whatever they look like, and wherever we gather around them, where we tell our stories and pass down our values, bind families together. And the benefits from this initiative will be cleaner and safer homes, and that will in turn ripple out for healthier families, stronger communities, and more stable societies. So we are excited because we think this is actually a problem we can solve. And I want to bring up and introduce to you a woman who's been my partner in this process in the United States government. She provided invaluable leadership to this effort and has on so many important issues facing our country, the Administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency, Lisa Jackson.
Well, thank you, Madam Secretary. We first spoke about this topic almost a year ago today, and I hoped, against hope, that we would get to this point. But I honestly wasn't sure where we'd actually get, and I didn't know how quickly we'd get there, but I, of course, should have known that if you made it yours, we would get there very quickly. So thank you very much for your leadership in making this happen. This is a very personal issue for me. It's about poverty. It's about the underserved. It's about people living in conditions 1 decade into the 21st century that are not that different from a few centuries ago. This is, in many ways, the ultimate environmental justice issue. We can't fix everything in their lives immediately, but today we're starting a process to help them meet the most basic human need, cooking a meal, in a way that won't cause them harm. So as we move forward, let's talk about risk factors and financing and standards, but let's not over-intellectualize, not to the extent that we lose track of this basic purpose. I can honestly say that this work has the potential to have as great a reach as anything else I do as EPA administrator. I want to congratulate the United Nations Foundation for leading this effort. I congratulate each of our partners who have stepped forward to make this happen, this alliance. And I invite all of you listening today to join with us. We are going to change the way the world cooks. Now, I am delighted to welcome the Global Alliance for Cookstoves founding partners who are here with us today. Their efforts will ensure the scaling up and adoption of clean and efficient cookstoves. So please join me in welcoming Gro Brundtland of the United Nations Foundation. Jonas Gahr Støre, Minister of Foreign Affairs for Norway. Rajiv Shah, the U.S. Agency for International Development. Christina Johnson of the U.S. Department of Energy. Rima Nanavati of the Self-Employed Women's Association. David Martin of Shell. Chris West of the Shell Foundation. Dirk Elson of SNV Development Organization. Kande Yamkela of UN Energy. Antonio Guterres of the UN High Commission on Refugees. Josette Sheeran of the World Food Program. And Maria Neira of the World Health Organization. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a challenge. Each year, nearly 2 million people die from exposure to stove smoke. More than half of those who die are children under the age of 5. The dependence on wood for fuel also puts pressure on local environmental resources and contributes to emissions that cause climate change. Collecting the wood to replenish those cook stoves each day creates an economic burden on mostly women and girls. It requires time and energy that could be better used at school or at work. Leadership across all disciplines and sectors needs to coalesce around a common strategy to meet the core needs of the field and advance sustainable approaches on a global scale. The following commitment aims to provide a solution to all these challenges. The UN Foundation, in collaboration with these and other leading private and public partners, commits to launch a bold and new global alliance for clean cook stoves to enable 100 million households adopt clean and efficient cook stoves and fuels by 2020. Absolutely. Incorporating the expertise of its public and private partners, the Alliance seeks to save lives, improve livelihoods, empower women, and combat global climate change by creating a thriving global market for clean and efficient household cooking solutions. The initiative will coordinate manufacturers, importers, NGOs, researchers, donors, and local governments around one common strategy that includes voluntary stove standards. The Alliance is designed to achieve the Millennium Development Goals by reducing poverty, empowering women, improving children's health, promoting environmental stability, and building a global partnership.
Okay.